Ooh, welcome back to your idiot league mates. All right, it's Monday morning. Week 11 is almost done. I got Nick, Gut, and JMO on the couch with me today. Did I miss something?
I realized AR put up 28.
I'm just watching their faces as you put this matchup.
All right, let's get into it. I mean, I was going to say, I feel like a good week of football. You know, like a lot of good games, a lot of important games in terms of like divisional rivals, stuff like that. Didn't really have fun, but like objectively, objectively, it should have been a good week, but not everyone can be a winner in fantasy, you know? So let's get into the first matchup here. Nick, you were taking on Casey. It was a dogfight for sure, to say the least. 151 to 152. I think the big narrative about this game was that T. Higgins was the last player going in this matchup, and he almost clutched it out for you with what needed to be a 31-ish point performance.
Let me tell you my POV of last night of this game.
Were you even awake for it? Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, like, the game started, and Casey's players, it was just like Demon touchdown, Cup touchdown, Stafford. It felt like halfway through the 1 o'clock games, the percentages were up to like 90-10. I'm like, I'm cooked here.
You were down at 9%. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, I was down really. I think by the Sunday night game, I was down probably like to 1 or 2% because it was all it was T. Higgins, and I needed 31 out of him or whatever. Yeah. And I was watching up until halftime, and at halftime he had like 5 points. So I was like, okay, he needs 25 in the second half. I didn't even go into the game being like, cool, this is a sweat. I'm like, there's just zero chance it happens. Halftime hits, and I'm like asleep, I think, shortly after that. For whatever reason, I wake up with like 4 minutes left in the game, and I wasn't like waking up to be like, oh, cool, like let me check the score, because again, had no shot of winning it. But I check the phone, and I see like the group chat kind of going off, and Sexy's like, it's so sad that this is the first text I read. It's so sad that Nick won't even know that he can win this game right now. So I'm like, what? So I check the score, and I see I'm down. I woke up, not kidding, like 6 or 7 seconds after T. Higgins caught his last ball of the game.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'm down 1.5 points. The Bengals go on to have 3 drives within the 2-minute warning. None of them, obviously, T. Higgins doesn't catch a ball. He had that rollout where Burrow gets like hit. T. Higgins was wide open right in front of him. For some reason, the ball goes 17 yards like that way.
Dude, Burrow just waited like 1 second too long on that. Yeah. T. Higgins looked so open that it was like, how did Burrow like not see that earlier?
Right.
Because there was Chase on a deep breaking route, I think.
Yeah, he just stares at Chase the whole time.
Yeah.
So like I went from literally like REM sleep to like, holy fuck, you know what I mean?
Out.
Yeah, like it was a crazy like 2 seconds of experience, but based on the way that these games have gone for me, I like wasn't expecting to win this game.
No heart.
My team literally is negative grit.
I was rooting for you so hard because I hate that Casey just didn't roll out a tight end. He has George Kittle, who was ruled out, I guess Sunday morning, but there were a bunch of signs that like he probably was gonna miss this game, and Casey gave no fucks about like getting the backup tight end.
Doubtful at 10.
Yeah.
It was weird, though, because like all week they were optimistic about him playing. And then clearly Casey had way more than enough time to get another player. I still don't understand till right now why he didn't go for it. Like, so, could just drop Jalen McMillan.
Right. Noah Brown played Thursday, so he was stuck on the bench. So, like, obviously that's the person you want to drop, but you can't at that point.
He just really likes his bench.
What's that?
He just really likes his bench.
He loves his bench.
Like Butte, McMillan, all droppable. But if it was the difference between, like, I picked up Dalton Schultz, so that, like, he wouldn't have him for Monday night in case it came down to that. He could still pick up, like, if I ended up being up 1.5 points, do you think he goes and picks up, like, he can't. Cade Stover or someone? McMillan's on a bye, so he could still drop him.
He could, but I just think at this point,
I think he's so confident that he's, like, so far, like, locked into the playoffs, he doesn't care.
Not playoffs, but, like, first-round bye, you never know. Like, I don't know. It just felt like fucking dumb. Obviously, I was like, cool. Like, it's great that it's going to happen, but obviously, whatever. It fucking sucks.
Kyle Pitts really sold the bag.
Yeah. The worst part about these games.
Anything.
Yeah. Worst part about these games is, like, you go back and you look at, like, did you see the play George Pickens stepped out of bounds?
Yeah. That was like.
Okay, like, what are we doing?
He did, like, such a wide.
Like, what are we doing there?
That was so weird.
Yeah, there was just so many things that, like, could have gotten me a point that just didn't get me a fucking point.
Connor Williams hasn't even been the elite back that you traded for.
I apologized on the live stream this morning for trading for him because as soon as I got him, he just stopped scoring touchdowns after 10 straight weeks of being a touchdown fucking demon.
Yeah, that was tough. T. Higgins also, like, not even on that rollout, but just like the Hail Mary or it. Yeah. I really thought you were going to pull it off. And it's kind of funny because T. Higgins has been so frustrating being like ruled out week after week. And even when he's giving you like 30-point performances, he's still so fucking frustrating.
Enough. So frustrating.
Like it's not like he came back and was like, "Thank God T. Higgins back." You're like, "Dude, T. Higgins, you fucking bot."
Yeah.
What, 6 games and he's outperformed Chase in 3 of them?
Yeah. I mean, he's like the tight end 6 in points per game on the year.
Wide receiver?
Oh, yeah, wide receiver. Yeah, well, he's a fucking cone, so maybe tight end. But yeah, the worst part about it is like the only thing that matters right now is wins for me. Like this point total does nothing because like if Nate put up like 170, Joe might lose and he's still going to put up like 140, 150.
Joe definitely is close.
I mean, I think it's still a little bit of a sweat, to be honest with you.
It's a 2v1 and the one is
all right, let's get to it. Let's go to Joe's matchup. Joe is down about 20. He needs 22. He has Rico Dowell and CJ Stroud. Andrew still has Joe Mixon, though.
Joe Mixon will probably outscore both of them.
It is tough because I do think the game script is probably in Mixon's favor.
It's 7-point favorites, yeah, 100%.
It's definitely in his
He's
favor.
Good. It is insane.
Yeah, no, Joe Mixon my GOAT this year for sure. And against Dallas, like it's going to be probably a big game for him. It's crazy that you have Taysom Hill in your tight end spot.
Unreal.
And you're still coming up short. But, I mean, the rest of his team kind of floundered a little bit. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins, Cedric Tillman.
He got
Kareem
real
Hunt.
lucky with JSN there, too. He had about like 10 points on the last fucking drive.
He would have won if he didn't do the Kamara trade.
Well, Jason had 21 points.
He wasn't in that trade.
Nah, it was Kamara for Swift and...
Well,
like Swift scored more.
Swift and who?
Swift outscored Kamara by about 4.
And then
Tyreek
put
Hill
up
had
16.
19.
Yeah.
Or 9, I don't
So
know.
I guess it
16.
depends on who he ended up sitting in wide receiver. But yeah, I mean, it would have been a lot closer, obviously. I mean, Taysom, 41 is insane.
I mean, do you think that, like, I feel like there's a chance he might have benched JSN, though.
Agreed. Like, he's definitely playing Tillman, I think.
And he's playing D-Hop.
Likely.
And so it's like maybe Dowell.
Yeah, maybe he sits Dowdle. It's close regardless.
I mean, he's projected 147. Like, I think Joe did fine. He just unfortunately ran
Joe
into,
keeps putting up big weeks, honestly. They're just, he kind of like needs this win because I feel like he still has a lot of players that have to go through their bye. Kareem Hunt's probably on the downswing. Like, I don't know. It could get ugly, I think, for his team.
Kamara's on bye next week.
Yeah.
Right.
It was unfortunate. I really wanted Joe to win this one just to make it even more interesting because he plays Andrew in back-to-back weeks, this being the first one, and he was only down, we're kind of running out of time, but 3 games to Andrew to where if he got that sweep, it just could have been a miraculous comeback from Joe, but feels like it's going to die before it even gets started.
Yeah, Puka looks fucking incredible.
Like Jamison Williams, I know he's boom bust, like his floor is low, but it just feels like he booms way more than bust to where like I think he's such a good option.
Yeah, I mean, that offense is so sick.
52 points, like it's fucking.
Who do they play next week? Like, when they play bad
Indy.
teams, they just run it up.
Indy.
50.5 total.
Dude, fucking Dan Campbell does not give a fuck,
No,
dude.
dude.
I do think part of it was just like they didn't look great last week against who do they play again?
Houston.
Against Houston. So they were like really trying to build momentum and whatnot. The Jags were just perfect time to tee off on someone, but like I think the Lions is there a better unit in football than the Lions offense?
No,
like either
can't be.
someone's offense or someone's defense. Is it like Lions offense, Eagles defense?
Lions.
It's the Lions offense for
clear
sure.
Everything, dude.
Yeah.
They're so good. Like, I can't even think who number 2 is. Like, they're
Maybe
just
Ravens?
so far.
I would say the Ravens, yeah. I mean, it's obviously easy to push them down after yesterday's game, but I think you look at the entirety of the year, the Baltimore offense has been insane.
For sure.
Cincy's offense is pretty fucking.
Cincy, who'd you say?
Denver's defense is really good.
Denver's defense is good. I just feel like Lions offense can beat you anyway to like the highest degree.
Yeah.
Like Ravens still kind of feel like a little bit like if they got behind, like having to throw to Justice Hill down the sideline doesn't feel great.
Yeah, like they have 2 players that can take over a game. It feels like the Lions have like 4, maybe
Yeah.
5.
For sure.
So good.
Bo Nix looks fucking phenomenal too. It's kind of funny, the Bo Nix and Herbert trade, looking back on it, because like both dudes
Both
just
are doing well.
exploded
Yeah.
as soon as they swapped teams.
Bo's been good.
Joe just gets unfortunate weeks.
Yeah, he gets fucked. Daniel Jones, done.
Done. Yeah.
So cooked.
DeVito, hot on the waiver this week.
I can't believe they're starting to be.
I can't either.
Right?
That's
funny.
that's purposely
Where-
tanking.
What is wrong with Drew Lock?
So they said that Drew Lock was like hurt to begin the season, and that DeVito has like proven success in the
They don't
system.
won
Or
games.
something.
I mean, he beat the Packers
That's fair,
last
yeah.
year.
okay, but then
wins
like,
last
why
year.
sign Drew Lock? Like,
Doesn't matter. Drew Lock sucks too.
Yeah,
Drew Lock just has like the cool selling.
Drew Lock just has to be better than. If we're doing waivers today, I would still bid more for Drew Lock.
Like I feel like DeVito's gonna be.
There's
too
no
weak.
shot DeVito lasts more than like a week.
Like what's the Giants' schedule? They're gonna go 0-2.
I think this
Drew
is very much like the situation with the Browns of if they're going to start DTR or they're going to start Jameis. Giants clearly want to lose games. You're going to start DeVito. Like if you want to lose, objectively, he's probably the worst quarterback, and they're probably going to want to lose out, get the highest pick possible.
My problem is like, does Dayball keep his job if they lose out? Like if you're Dayball, do you feel good like another week of or another year of losing? Like you're not going to be around to pick the next quarterback.
Yeah.
No, week 15. Like DeVito, if he's still playing, is going to get destroyed, and then Locke comes in.
It's kind of funny, but like Giants' first team tanking this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's got rushing upside.
He's the New York just king.
Debo Samuel, I feel like is fucking cooked.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit, but he just looks hurt and
Fatty.
slow, and
He looks slow. He looks hurt.
Fat boy.
I feel like the Niners have no explosive players. Obviously, Ayuk's gone. McCaffrey still feels like he's trying to work back into
McCaffrey
Debo.
looks like he's running in quicksand still a little bit.
Yeah. Debo has been doing that all year. And as cool as Jawan Jennings is, like he's not like he still is not like a number one receiver that you feel like can take.
Are you
over
worried
a game.
about them in general? Like
The Niners? Yeah, I don't even think we make playoffs anymore.
Even their
Bosa
fu-
feels
like
like
their
fucking
future.
cooked too.
Yeah, Bosa.
His hip is like shredded.
Yeah. The defense wasn't good to begin with.
Like I am concerned about the future, like because they're gonna have
Kind
to
of.
lose pieces.
Sure. I still think though, if you have Shanahan and you have a guy like Purdy who can run his offense, like I still think your floor is pretty high. I think realistically, like I think this is probably like the worst it's going to get with Shanahan and a comparable quarterback.
Do you think there's a world next year where I guess they re-signed Ayuk, so he'll be back? But if he's not ready for the beginning of the season, I feel like there's a strong possibility that's like Juwan and Ricky as their 1 and 2,
Right.
And then Kittle and C-Mac. That's still like a pretty potent offense.
I mean, that's what I mean. Like we're seeing this offense without Ayuk and a bad
year
Debo,
of
like we're saying.
C-Mac.
This kind of feels like what the team could be going forward, you know? It just like came earlier than what you would want. All right, let's move to another matchup here. Jack got absolutely walloped by Nate.
Bozo.
Thank God, dude.
Nate's cooking.
Dude, I was saying this when we were watching the games. Nate's receiving core went from like
He even
biggest
has
pile
someone
of
on
trash I've ever
there's
seen.
a couple guys
to
on his bench.
It was just like perfect timing where everyone just like turned it on at the exact
He really
same
had a
time.
touchdown called back for illegal formation or motion or some bullshit too. Like if he gets that,
No, QJ is like super nice with how Herbert's playing
Johnny
and also
Smith.
just how he's playing too.
I feel like he scores every other game.
Yeah.
He either makes like a very big play or scores. Yeah, he's been like super
yeah,
solid.
and Johnny with 28 casually sitting on his bench.
Insane.
Damn.
Obviously
Johnny's
the
a
nice-
start over Engram moving forward with Mac Jones. Like
with
that's-
Mac Jones.
There's
for
a
sure.
chance Tilo's back after bye, no?
There's a chance, but
It's his non-throwing shoulder. Like I could see it.
I just don't know what he has to play for. They stink. Out of contract.
He's got nothing.
But if he wasn't gonna play, like why not just fucking have the surgery now? Get ahead of it weeks rather than just like sitting
He is
around.
the most whack dude you'll ever like hear about. Yes. He's just
He's the most whack dude you'll ever hear about.
just because of his decisions. Just I don't understand. Like in Clemson, it was the same shit. He just
I think we're just like overrating teams giving up on seasons. Like we were saying like 2 weeks ago, it was like Miami should just shut it down.
The Rams.
You know, like right,
The
like
Rams
week
were about to
4, it was
sell
like
Cup and, like-
it was like Matthew Stafford has nothing to play
J-Mo
for.
was like J-Mo in the preview of the NFC West was like, "Yep, Rams are shutting down this year. It's over." Cook is a little bit banged up last year there.
Yeah. I don't know. Like the Jags rolling out Trevor Lawrence, like I think you just want some fucking hope that like next year he's your guy. Like he can.
Tony, we can hold out hope for our fantasy teams and pray that he does. I think there is probably like a 30% chance that he just doesn't just sit for the rest of the season.
This is a big bye week for Jack. This was like I feel like this was his bye week. Chuba's out. Marvin Harrison is gone.
I don't know why he started Raheem Mostert after coming off of like a 0 carry game.
Are these back-to-back neggies for him?
No, I mean he had
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
5
big
points.
catch last
Okay.
week, but like the dude just like doesn't get used.
Yeah,
I feel like
insane.
Jalen Wright has taken over the backup role.
Yeah, not a great start by him.
Brace,
Yeah,
31.
Jets fucking
Jets
suck, but like
might
Brees is
shut
all
it
the way
down.
back. Yeah, Jets actually should shut it down though.
Should.
But again, like they're another team that like probably wants Because they're
Rodgers
going to
has
run
I
it
don't
back.
know
much
what
pride.
they
Yeah.
want. They don't know what they want.
Imagine they get Travis Hunter next year. Sauce and Hunter.
You know how mad Aaron Rodgers would be at Travis Hunter? So angry.
You would turn Travis Hunter into you turn him into like Geronimo Allison.
Turn him into Kadarius Toney.
Going
Nate's
off
team's
after.
kind of deep.
Yeah,
he has
they
a
also just
great
put 62 fab on his team, man.
Rashad and Pacheco just.
Doesn't matter though. Like Nate was just that was just a move to make sure that he doesn't get last place. And now that he's basically gotten out of that, it's like he doesn't give a fuck about SMA.
All right, next matchup here. Gut and JMO. In in a huge matchup, not just in the household, but for standings. Gut just popped off. You know, not much you can
I
really
was
do
down
about
by
that.
60 going into the game.
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase.
You
That's
know,
the
you got
stack
the
you
shit
want.
on the Will Disley ad. He took that personally, and
Yeah.
I'm happy he did.
J.K. Dobbins, the fakest good game of all time.
Oh, dude, I'm aware.
A fourth and 1 touchdown, the 30 touchdown at the end.
Down two, and I was like sweating for a while there.
Yeah,
They
you
were
nervous
giving
going?
Hassan Haskins the fucking goal line carries. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
I don't know. They like lined him up at
Michigan.
fullback in a wing T set, and we're like, run Hassan Haskins.
Yeah, insane. Are you like worried about Dobbins going forward? Or do you think it's just like
No, he had the entirety of that second half. Like he played almost all of the snaps in the second half. Saw all the 2-minute work. Like I think he's still the guy they want to go to.
That's the other thing is Gus and Haskins present no threat to him at all in like any sort of athletic
yeah,
situation.
or passing situation,
Right.
anything. Like Dobbins ran almost all the routes out of the backfield. Like I'm not worried about it. And Vidal's a healthy scratch now.
Yeah.
So,
Vidal would be like the biggest concern because he could like catch passes, but
but no. And Jamar.
Mac Jones goated though.
on the other side, didn't have like the worst week, JMO, but you know, a lot of disappointing games. Bowers really put the team on his back. Did as much as he could. Do you guys know that Bowers is on pace to have more receptions as a rookie than Puka last year?
He's on pace for just everything.
Yeah.
He's on like record type beat. Yeah,
Taking
my
practice.
receivers just didn't come to play.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be the difference.
Are you worried about them going forward? Like Garrett Wilson and kind of a weak offense?
I don't know what the
They
fuck.
three against Chicago just was tough.
Yeah.
I really like I'm a still big believer in Reed. Nico will be fine. I don't know. I mean, obviously dropping this game, and I feel like I dropped another one a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Like it's not great to see from our receivers, but I mean it's the squad I'm rocking with. So
The whole second half, I was like sweating this game, watching it, knowing his ass was asleep. And I'm like, I need to have like a 40-point cushion for Nico. Like, I cannot let it within 30, or else I'll be cooked.
What a second half for you. Holy fuck.
Yeah, that was nice. Everyone but Disley.
Yeah.
Jam, I think your team will be fine.
Yeah. I still think it's a really good team. It's just like feels like Reed and maybe obviously Waddle, but like a couple guys just have not been performing.
Yeah.
I feel like I almost need to like package one of my receivers in May to try and get like a top G. You want AJ Brown to get off your team?
Like T still has his bye. AJ Brown doesn't have his bye, but that's like a package I might look into just because some of those guys have buys still.
Kyler Murray will be back next week. Xavier Worthy finally had a fucking day.
They need a drive.
Yeah,
He
no,
actually
that's
did
fair.
have a
That's
drive.
fair.
He
No,
had
fuck
another
Xavier
big one
Worthy.
though that he just stepped out. Like he's
So
got to
s-
lock the fuck in on his
So
feet.
stupid.
It's fun. I was on early season.
What
You
the
can
fuck is he
continue taking it out.
doing?
I think Tajay got another concussion in this game.
Nice.
I gotta
Yeah, I think it's.
He's
I think
played
it's-
like 4 games
I
this
think
year.
it's about time.
Moving on to another matchup here. We got JL and Sexy P in a divisional matchup. It's kind of close. Monday night's going to obviously determine this one. Sexy's down about 25 with Cooper Rush, CeeDee Lamb, and Tank Dell.
It's crazy how that's not a lock at all.
No,
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to lose. Like, I
You
feel
think?
Like
I think he'll pull it off, but it's going to be way closer than it should
Cooper
be.
Rush has been replaced twice. It's going to look like another probably blowout. I mean, the spread is already as far as it is. CeeDee Lamb is questionable.
It's really just going to
Random
come down
injury.
to CD's like garbage time there.
I mean, each one of them only needs 9 points.
Yeah, like CD can back in. Yeah,
It's
they
gonna
throw one
depend-
touchdown.
Like if he
pass,
could get like 15 out of Tank, like he'll be good. He
I
just
think
needs
it's
a
more
good
likely
Tank day.
Rush will probably get like 11, maybe 10 or 11. He'll throw like one touchdown pass. Lamb will end up catching 7 balls, and like that will probably get him over the edge.
Yeah, like they don't even have to score what they're projected. Like they don't need huge games. But I agree with you where it's like Cooper Rush, his floor is 0 points. Yeah,
It's so bad. Did he have negative points last week?
he did.
He did, but so many quarterbacks like are so bad, and then they, like Will Levis, just like 17. Gardner Minshew yesterday had like 18 points. It's just they don't like usually have negative points in a row. They'll usually get back to like 8, 12 points.
My only word is like this isn't an easy defense either, though. Like Houston still is just gonna be definitely an annoying sword.
JL's team was he felt like he was rolling, and then kind of had a down week, 107.
He's fine.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him. Sexy, this is kind of a must-win game for Sexy when we get into the standings, but
Baker's back. Is this like a certain he takes Herbert's spot?
No,
definitely not.
I mean,
at that point, I think you play it by matchup, and I would almost probably lean Herbert.
Baltimore, Atlanta, the next two. Mayfield next two. Oh, Giants
Carolina, LV. Yeah. Holy hell. And Carolina in the champ.
Damn. Okay. So
it's a great matchup.
That's a great problem to have.
Yeah.
He's a dude who probably should be shipping a quarterback for something.
Maybe. I mean, Lamar still has his bye.
Oh, right. No, you're right. I forgot Lamar.
At this point, I think I'm like okay having 3 quarterbacks throughout like the playoffs in case something goes wrong.
Yeah. Me, I'm just like, I just want to roll the same guy out, maybe upgrade somewhere else, and then I'm not like making that decision. All right, Monday night, we'll have to see what it comes down to. And then finally, we got my matchup against Adam Ross St. Brown, scoring 40 fucking points. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude.
Adam put up 20?
Yeah, Adam's team's just going to keep getting away with this.
That's why I picked him, because I was just like, I don't think he's got like an awesome team, but he has so many players capable of putting up those fucking 40-point games.
Yeah, pretty fucking tough. And I like McCaffrey, Henry, like have like pedestrian games for their standards, and then just Amon-Ra St. Brown makes it all up.
Gabe Davis. What did Madison have? Like 4?
No, he
had 10.
Yeah.
I think Madison and Gabe Davis got hurt. I think Madison got hurt.
I think he did too, yeah.
He should have Evans back. I think it's like 50-50 maybe for next week.
Yeah, Evans back in his lineup's going to be fucking dangerous. Will Levis having 15 points is fucking infuriating. Like, dude had a 99-yard touchdown.
Dude, he is.
Yeah, absolutely, he fucking is, dude. Like,
unless Sexy makes some crazy comeback.
Nick Chubb is a fucking loser, dude. He is so cooked.
I tried to tell you. He literally just puts up 5 points every week.
I don't think I can start him next week. I don't think I can start him for the rest of the year.
He sucks.
Yeah. I think the Browns' offense is terrible, too.
They're bad.
Yo, Jameis, though.
Their team is bad.
Dude, Jameis will be fine fantasy-wise, but, like, their offense is
It's actually insane, like, the number of, like, 350 to 400 passing yard games that they have without Deshaun Watson. It's just, like, 140 yards every time he's playing, and every other quarterback's just, like, 400 yards every game.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Christian Watson kind of showed up. I feel like
he might be catch was huge.
He feels like a guy I might have a little more confidence rolling out, but yeah, I feel like my team just has like no real upside to it.
I feel like Amari had this 2 catches right off the rip and nothing.
Dude, those were sick catches.
I thought Amari was going to bring me back into it because I was down like 25 or something, and it was Purdy and Cooper versus McCaffrey. I was like, if Brock Purdy can kind of just like edge out McCaffrey, score like 5 more points, then Cooper just needs like a big 20-point game, and I could like steal a dub here. And then with those 2 long catches, I was like, I think he's gonna do it. I was like, he's gonna find the end zone on a long one, and then he just fucking disappeared.
It looks better with Swift and Tyreek.
But I mean, I still feel like it doesn't look great. Tyreek Hill, obviously, like 20 points, 19 points, he'll take it. I think his like floor is safe, but he also doesn't feel like a dude who has it in his bag to like do what Amon-Ra St. Brown did.
That's starting to feel a lot like AJ Brown for me too, just because their offense is so running back centric.
I was kind of thinking about it playing Adam, who had so many dudes who can just like pop and win you a week, and I was looking at other teams, and I'm like, okay, like they got. This person has that guy, whatever. I was like, dude, I don't think I have anyone who I can, like, just rely on to, like, fucking pop. So
BTJ was real nice before.
Yeah, I really need Trevor Lawrence to come back.
If T-Law comes back post-bye and, like, Gabe Davis is out or something, like, BTJ could be really good the last couple weeks.
Yeah. I think there's a route to where those 3 receivers could all pop, like, down the stretch, but I think it's becoming unlikely. All right, let's go to the standings. Let's start with the Pookie Bear division. Casey's going to advance to 10-1. You and I both lost, which is the only like saving grace that I have from losing to Adam is that you also
drops 40.
Lost a gut. I guess, yeah.
I guess Lamar dropped 55.
Yeah, we're gonna be tied at 6-5 with a matchup against each other next week.
Wow,
that's it. That's what I was saying. A movie.
Yeah, Nick,
your first matchup or second?
Second, but I mean, you definitely have the points on me.
Yeah,
so
that's big.
I was really hoping that like because Gut's team has been rolling. So I was like, okay, I feel good. Gut doing his job. And I felt good about Adam with like no fucking quarterbacks. And I was like, okay, if I can go into next week's matchup up a game, you know, like that would be huge. Now I'm like, feel like I'm fighting from behind.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you lose next week against JMO, it's what, 3 games left?
Well, I would need to win both. He would need to lose both. That would be the only way.
And you need to outscore him by like 100 points over that span.
No. Because if we're tied, if I lose to him next week,
okay,
I'll be down a game. Then it'll have to be I sweep, he gets swept. All right, so if we go to the big girl division, Gut, we're presuming you advance to 8-3. Motley Crue, I guess that one's still kind of up in the air, but more likely than not, you'll still be 1 game above Andrew, who will then be 3 games above Jack. So
2 games.
Well, Jack.
No, above.
Oh, right. I did that math wrong. 2 games above Jack.
I'll be 2 games
Playoffs are
above
shaping
Andrew,
up.
3 games above
Yeah.
Jack. Andrew will be 2 games.
It's a big win for you, too, because now you've put some real separation for that second bye.
Yeah, that's what I kind of really wanted, especially with next week kind of being an L, unless I somehow magically win without a QB or Jamal Chase.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wait, you don't have a single quarterback?
Yeah,
No,
Desmond Ritter.
I have no one.
Wow.
Desmond Ritter starting QB.
I didn't realize it was that bad.
You have a couple more days to make a trade if you want to.
Or Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, drop a bag on DeVito. You just gotta put someone in the QB spot, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll figure it out. I want to be honest, going against Jack's team, I feel like I can start not a QB and feel all right.
Well, Jackson will be at full. He'll get his players back, I think, next week, and he'll have a better lineup.
He'll be playing Caleb instead of Josh Allen,
For
which
Caleb is Josh Allen now, though.
But the Wolves division gets interesting.
Yeah, that shit's good.
yeah. So presuming that Sexy wins, he'll be at 5, but JL and Adam will be at 6.
So there's 1 game behind.
1 game behind.
But
and
Nate,
honestly,
Nate at 4.
Nate at 4.
That bottom 3 still has some figuring out to do for sure.
You're saying Adam, Sexy, Nate?
Yeah.
JL's got points 4 and then some.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
So we got 3 weeks left in the regular season, and from here on out, we only play the 3 other teams in our division. So it's kind of weird because I was trying to figure it out. In like some aspects, I think it helps people, but then also hurts because like Sexy obviously needs to win and needs JL and Adam to lose. But there is going to be that week where they eventually face each other and like one of them can't. One of them has to win. You know what I mean?
Shout out Andrew for making our division.
No.
Shout out Andrew, dude. way to fucking know ball. Just get the guys that get the job done.
All right. That's all we got for you today. Thank you, everyone, for watching. That was the Week 11 recap. We'll be back in a couple days for Waiver Wire. Make sure you like this video, subscribe. We'll be back.